And we appreciate the visit, Mr. Mayor Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Always good to see you. Let's get started.
Yep.
All right. We're right into 2026, 2 weeks in, and I know you've got a to-do list. You got things like Erlanger Park on the calendar. So tell us about some of your priorities.
Well, Erlanger Park is getting done, and it's on time, on budget, so we're super excited about that. And I know there's been a lot of anxiety about it, but if anybody's had a chance or has a chance to tour it before then, it is a remarkable site, not only for baseball, but for a lot of things. It's just going to be a really cool project. Walnut Street Bridge is on track. You can drive by and see that. That one's going to open up in 26. We're really excited about that. And you'll see a lot more quantum news. A lot of people missed this Vanderbilt news. Vanderbilt opening a campus here to do quantum research, and IonQ will be cutting the ribbon on a quantum computer on the EPB network a little later this month or early next month.
Sometimes when I mention that to people, their eyes glaze over and they go, what does that mean? So put that in terms that we can all understand.
Right. Well, you don't really need to be a quantum physicist. I certainly am not. But what it means is higher wage jobs, and as all that research gets commercialized for commercial applications. And so, those are the sort of jobs and the sort of industries we've been trying to attract to Chattanooga for years.
So this could be a game changer.
It will be.
All right, good to hear. Affordable housing initiatives, where are we on that?
Well, we're making huge progress there. Invest Chattanooga, we're one of a few cities in the country that actually has an affordable housing fund, and American Capital South Partners is now going to match those dollars. So, that will allow more places to get done. And essentially what it means is when a developer comes in to develop a new project, we can provide some debt financing in exchange for some affordable housing. So we're making a lot of progress there. We've made as much progress as, again, any city in the country. So we'll continue to make more this year.
I want to make sure I get this right, so I'm going to read this just as we've written it. Do you support a 180-bed low-barrier shelter for the homeless community in Chattanooga, and what would need to be done to make that happen?
Well, we've talked about a low-barrier shelter here for a long time, and we have not been able to pull it off yet, both because of neighborhood opposition in some cases and some other technical and funding challenges now with the change in administration. So, we're looking forward to the Aspero Center opening with permanent supportive housing, which will be opening this year as well on Main Street, right off Main, and hopefully the Airport Inn will become a homeless-related amenity that will help alleviate the issue as well. I got to say, one of the issues is we definitely do have homeless being dropped off here from other smaller communities, and that we've got to figure out how to put a stop to that before we lean all the way into this.
I always like to ask you about a hot topic or two, because I know you can take the heat. That's why you run. That's why you're in the kitchen.
Sure.
That Orange Grove Recycling Center, the updated contract, the decision impacted the employment of many people with intellectual disabilities. A lot of people were kind of hot about that. They're asking why.
Well, they didn't understand. And the fact is, when that relationship began decades ago, we had that population sorting recycling, paper, plastic, aluminum, and so on and so forth. And because of a lot of disputes about labor law and other things, that stopped. This was years and years ago. And it segued into a consumer-facing role, where members of that population under Orange Grove's watchful eye were facing, at recycling centers, working in consumer-facing roles. And frankly, we've got a tremendous number of complaints. And again, we have to provide city services faithfully and well. So again, this is not, we're not firing Orange Grove, we're putting it back out to an RFP, and hopefully, they can sort of reshuffle the deck and figure out how we can accomplish that and meet everybody's goals at the same time.
So they're not totally out of the equation yet?
Of course not. No, of course not. I mean, again, what we're doing is essentially rebidding the contract to see, what it comes back with and who is interested in providing those services. And even should that not work out, I mean, the city will certainly work with Orange Grove to try to find appropriate roles for the population, because we know that work gives meaning to people's lives, and we certainly want to do that. But at the same time, we can't ignore the mountain of complaints that it piled up around what we currently have them doing.
And finally, as a Chattanooga resident who lives in a neighborhood, and some people in the neighborhood ask me questions because I work in the news and they think I have all the answers. No. 311.
Yeah.
One complaint that I hear a lot is it seems like every few months they change their format.
Yes.
We're going to come by anyway. No, now you have to contact us before we come. Is that going to settle down?
Yes, it will settle down. Again, we've changed technology platforms. We changed 311, the app. Again, if you're you know, if the old saying in NASCAR, if you're not crashing, you're not racing, sort of thing. I mean, we are trying to get it right. We've made some mistakes along the way, but we are getting it right. And we've learned that going back to neighborhood zonal pickup is the better way to do it. And so we've gone back to that, and I expect we'll stay there. And 311 as a service, definitely, you know, we've had some challenges getting the tech right, but that is also getting dialed in.
So we can get used to this for a while.
Yeah. Should also say, I don't know if you guys caught on the news, but we did get our Denver flight, our direct to Denver.
Oh yeah, today.
Today. So we had a lot of people reaching out about that, a lot of people excited about that. That's a United Airlines flight direct to Denver that'll start in May, so we're quite excited about that.
All right, Rocky Mountain High, that's something to look forward to there. A lot of improvements at the airport recently, some new flights. Mayor Kelly, always good to see you. We'll do it again.
Likewise.
And we'll go right back to Cindy.
All right, thanks you two.